Hi all, I'm Dan Smigrod, founder of the We Get Around Network Forum. Today is Thursday, June 1st, 2023, and you're watching WGAN-TV live at 5. We have an awesome show for you today. Openhaus themes, pre-built Matterport overlay templates for all your clients' tours. And our subject matter expert here to talk with us about this is Openhaus co-founder, Christian Adams. Hey, Christian, good to see you. Thank you for being my guest on the show today.
No problem. Happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
You bet. Before we jump into today's topic about Openhaus themes meets Matterport, how about top line, big picture about Openhaus?
Yeah, for sure. So we are a smaller company. We started actually during the middle of COVID, and it's kind of probably helpful to understand why we started the company in the first place and how we've evolved to be what we are today. So essentially what we set out to do was create beautiful custom tours for big B2B brands. So we ended up landing a couple contracts with companies like GE Appliances, for example. They wanted us to create a 3D tour of their appliance showrooms and add all of the product data to them. And so basically we looked around at some of the different tools that were available to help us get the job done. And we weren't really stoked about any of the offerings, mainly just because we felt like the UI UX was kind of antiquated and there wasn't really a great way to add all of GE Appliances, colors, logos, fonts, etc., to the experience to make it look like as if they had created it themselves internally. And so we went to work and worked with Matterport's SDK, became an official Matterport platform partner, and built our own overlay solution for some of these larger B2B contracts that we ourselves had landed. And so what ended up happening was after we created them and shared them to the public, we started having a handful of Matterport providers reach out to us and ask us if they themselves could use our overlay software on their clients' tours. And that was kind of the genesis of us deciding to create an overlay software that was self-serve for Matterport providers all over, that they themselves could subscribe to Openhaus Pro and begin using the tools that we built to create tours just like we were creating for companies like GE Appliances. And so we did an official launch of Openhaus Pro in the beginning of this year in 2023. In January, we launched. We had a bunch of beta users during the year of 2022 to work out a lot of the bugs and get product feedback. And so we've officially been live and running since the beginning of this year, January. So that's a little bit about where we are to and kind of how we came to be.
Awesome. How about we do a little bit of a deep dive on some examples of Openhaus themes, if you could share your screen and take us through Openhaus themes, trying to understand templates, overlays, skins. Maybe there's even yet other words that people use to describe these. It's probably easier to see it, to understand it.
Yeah, 100%. We call them themes. And the reason why is because if anybody's familiar with Shopify or Webflow, if you're creating any type of website or e-commerce site, a lot of those providers, they have out of the box templates that they've already pre-coded and pre-designed for a user like me to come in and just plug in my brands and colors and logos and then have everything work out. And so we called it the Openhaus theme store. And like I was mentioning, we have worked with GE Appliances now for a couple of years. And I will use a demo of one of the tours that we created of one of their it's actually a trade show booth in Vegas, and we used Openhaus themes to create the overall experience from top to bottom. And so I'll just go ahead and kind of walk through kind of what you're looking at piece by piece. And Dan, please stop me if there's anything I'm missing or questions in the process. But first thing you'll notice in the top left-hand corner, you have the ability to add client logos to the overlay. And so, like I said, obviously GE Appliances, Monogram specifically, wanted to add their branding to the tours, and that includes all of the colors that you see in the fonts that we used as well. So we went and added Monogram's logo here in the top left-hand corner. In the top right-hand corner, you'll notice that there is a place for you as the Matterport provider to add your logo as well. And so we believe that if you are the one who is selling these experiences, you're creating them, you should be able to put your own branding on the experience as well as the creator. And so if you subscribe to Openhaus Pro, you'll be able to add your own provider logo to all of your tours as well. In the top right-hand corner, just underneath the logo, you'll notice there's a video playing. As we kind of started creating some of these experiences for larger companies, they were very interested in engagement, and they wanted to know some pretty in-depth analytics about how users were interacting with Matterport tours. And actually what we found is if you add an overlay video that people can watch and listen to as they are walking around the Matterport tour, the engagement goes up pretty drastically. If you're walking around a silent Matterport tour, in my opinion, it's kind of an unromantic experience. And so if you add a video where there's an audio element to it, it just makes the experience much more enjoyable. And so we make it really easy for you to upload any MP4 file to your Matterport tour overlay, and that can be played in this top right-hand corner. Moving down to the bottom left-hand corner, you'll notice there's two what we call action buttons. The first one is the tags button, and if you click on it, it will open up a side drawer, and you'll be able to see these are all of where it says products. These are all of the Monogram appliances that are actually in this tour. And then if you scroll down, there's tags, and what tags are, the difference is these are products that are third-party brands that are not Monogram. And so we distinguished between the two. Monogram wanted to show their products as being the shoppable ones here at the top, and then the tags calling out their sponsors and other different items in the space are down here below. So if I go ahead and click on one of these, you'll be able to see it will take you to the location of where that product is actually located inside the tour. So this is the refrigerator brass panel that is on top of this refrigerator, I guess. So people can navigate the tour. They can click on these tags, and they can see all of the different products that are inside a specific space. And then if they click on one again, it will take them to where that product is located inside of the tour itself. So that's it for the tags button. If you see below, we also have what we call the rooms button. If you click on this rooms button, you'll see that we've gone and broken up the Matterport tour into specific rooms. So in this tour specifically, there were 5 different kitchens that displayed different products that they had. And so I'm currently in the Luke's kitchen, but if I click on Lucid Kitchen, it will take me into where that specific spot is inside the Matterport tour. And so it's just an easier way for clients to navigate tours, especially if they're really large spaces that span tens of thousands of square feet. It makes it easier for people to jump from room to room rather than walking across the entire experience. One other thing I'll mention is this is one theme template that we chose for the Monogram booth, but there are a lot of different theme templates. I'm going to go ahead and jump to the theme store really quick. If you want to know, the URL for our theme store to see the templates is openhaus.app/themes. And if you scroll down, you'll be able to see all of these different themes that we've built here. So I went and explained all of the different UI elements that we add to all of our themes. However, the theme store, what it is it's all those UI elements that are placed in different locations or stylized differently. So for example, if you look at this acute theme right here, you'll notice there's a video player, they have a place for the client logo in the middle, the provider logo in the top right-hand corner, your action buttons in the bottom right-hand corner, and then there's the standard Matterport buttons here in the middle. And so with each one of these themes, you can scroll through them and look at each of them. And then depending on what the needs are of your client and kind of the overall look and feel of the experience that they're going for, you can choose one of these templates as a starting point to create the experience. And so, like I said, some of these themes have, like, for example, this essential theme has the standard Matterport buttons here, but you'll notice the crisp theme, or let's see, this bottom theme doesn't have the standard Matterport buttons on it at all. And so just depending on, like I said, what the use case is for the client will dictate what elements go on which theme.
Christian, if you could call up one of the themes, because there's a lot of content even behind. Yeah, you could just maybe click on one. I noticed that you can see a lot of information about this particular theme on this screen, for example.
Yeah, for sure. So if you click into a theme, you'll notice within each one, there's 5 different color variations that you can use as a starting point. And then on the right-hand side, you'll be able to see a preview of what that theme would look like if you add it to your Matterport tour. Even better, if you click this View Demo button, it will actually pull up a Matterport tour with this theme actually placed on it. And so we've gone, and if you click on one of the tags, you'll be able to see we've added all of the colors and all of the font options that are related to this bottom line theme. And so this makes it easy to be able to get an idea of, okay, if I choose this theme, what's it going to look like with an actual Matterport tour? And then if you scroll down, you'll be able to see the colors that we've chosen for each specific theme, for the sidebar, the Matter tag pop-up modals, and then the rooms bar as well. And then we've gone and created custom default icons for anything information related, product related, if you have a video or our product group tag as well. And so if you click into each theme, you'll be able to see a little bit more information on each one. Is that helpful, Dan?
Yeah, so I think what I noticed that there's 14 different themes that are each available in 5 different color palettes.
Yes.
So already I'm counting 70 themes in my mind. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the good news is we usually release 1 to 2 new themes every month to our subscribers. And so we're always creating new themes and adding more options to this. And so in our weekly email that we send out to our subscribers, we launch new themes on a regular basis. So this is only going to continue growing.
Excuse me, Christian, if you could just take another look at the room slider versus the tag slider. These seem like 2 super powerful tools. Even the tag pop-up is just perhaps to talk a little bit more about those 3 features.
For sure. Yeah, so you'll notice, I'm going to go back to the monogram booth to be able to see it full screen. You'll notice here in the booth itself, there's 2 different types of tags that we've added. The ones with the monogram logo on them, these are actual monogram products. And so if you click on it, you'll be able to see that this is the monogram brand. This is the title of the product. This is the SKU number that they added. And then there's a call to action button that says shop now. And if you click on that, there's a URL behind it that will take you actually to this dishwasher page on the monogram website where you can purchase it. One other thing to mention is you can add media carousels to your Matter tag pop-ups. So you'll notice here that there are multiple images tied to this product. And the cool thing is you can actually do a combination of images and videos. So let's say you wanted to add 2 product images and 2 YouTube videos that are displayed in this pop-up modal, you can do it. On the left-hand side where the media element goes, it also accepts code snippets. And so if you want to embed For example, a meeting scheduler tool using a Calendly code snippet embed. You could put that code snippet tied to this tag, and then here on the left-hand side, people could click on a day on your calendar and schedule an appointment with you. And so really there's quite a few options for what you can do as far as what you include in these tag pop-up modals, and they're pretty customizable. And I'll get into a little bit more of that when we get on the back end and I show you how you create these tags on the back end.
Awesome.
But
could you pull out the sliders? There's one for the tags and there was one for the rooms. To just help, again, to help in my mind differentiate the difference between the two.
Yes. So this is the tags button. The only time that you'll be able to see products here is with a tour that has commerce enabled on it. And there's a couple different ways that you can enable commerce on a tour. And I won't get into too much detail about it. The main way that is most easy as of right now is if you have a client that has a Shopify store, and we can connect your Open House account to that Shopify store and make products actually shoppable from inside the Matterport tour itself. And so anything that is quote unquote shoppable would fall under the product side. And then tags are what we call, they're more informational, if you will. And so you'll notice they act honestly pretty much the same, because if I click on a tag here, this is a light fixture from Arteriors, and you can add a title and a description and a call to action button plus your media element on the left-hand side. And so really the only difference between tags and products here is we added a SKU number to the product side just because Monogram wanted that, and you can add more fields, more data fields to a product than a tag. But for all intents and purposes, I would just consider them the same unless you're enabling commerce features, which is a different topic that we won't get into too much today.
Okay. In terms of the room slider, does that replace the Matterport highlight reel?
It can if you want it to. If you can do either or. So we have MSPs that are using both. Some like the rooms button, and some like to use the Matterport highlight tool. And there is a way in which you can actually add rooms on Open House to your tour and use the Matterport highlight button to display those rooms. So it's essentially acting the same way as if you added rooms or highlights on the Matterport side, but it's pulling the Open House rooms that you created rather than the ones that you set in Matterport. But the answer, Dan, is it's preference on the MSP or the client what they want, but you can do both.
Did I notice in one of the Open House themes where the highlights reel was actually larger than Matterport, or no, it really is the same size?
Yeah, it's a little larger because we created our own UI for it with all the standard Matterport tools. I'll open this one up right here. This is what we call the contemporary theme, and you'll notice here are the Matterport buttons down here below. And so when we added the standard Matterport buttons, we made them a little larger and created our own UI for the way that these work. So if you click on this button, you'll be able to see that they are a little larger than they are actually inside Matterport, if that's helpful. So
so that's a feature of Open House themes, is Matterport highlights reel is still there if you want to use it. It's just that you reimagined it as the highlights reel being larger.
That is correct. Yes, that's correct. So it's a little bit different. And we didn't want to just literally copy the Matterport UI, and we wanted to put our own Open House spin on it. So that's essentially what it is.
Okay, awesome. So you've covered, let's see, tag slider, tag pop-up, room slider. I noticed on some of them there was it looked like a line, maybe a border. And
yeah, so you can see on this one right here, this theme has what we call a top bar on it. So this line that is running right here is just delineating the top bar functionality, and it allows you to define your logos in the top, as well as, for example, on one of these themes, you'll see, let's go to one that has another one that has a top bar. This one has a little bit more of a defined top bar because it has a solid background color to it. And you'll notice that in the top left-hand corner here in the top bar, we have a menu. So if you click on this menu button, then there will be a pop-up that will come up so that you can interact with the hamburger menu. So some of the themes have a top bar, some of them don't. It just depends on which one you select. And again, it all comes back to what the client wants or what they like. For example, this essential theme here, you can see that this one does not have a top bar because the video player is pushed all the way in the top left-hand corner. And then there's a hamburger menu in the top right-hand corner. So it just kind of depends, and whatever the MSP or the client likes, they can configure or customize them how they want.
Okay, and then perhaps overstating the obvious, the video player moved from top left, top right, bottom left.
Yes.
So that's all features of Open House themes.
Yeah, so you'll see here on my screen, this acute theme, the video players in the top right-hand corner. Same with the border. If you look at this essential theme, it's in the top left-hand corner. Let's see. Here on the starter theme, it's in the bottom right-hand corner. So we kind of move things around when we actually go and design and create these templates. So they can be moved around.
And then I also noticed the shape. So can you speak to the shape of the video?
Yeah, they can be there. The video player itself can either be a square shape, a circular shape, or it can be portrait or landscape. And so really, again, whatever is best for the viewer. I'll show you a tour here. This is something I wanted to touch on anyway. So this was an experience that we created for House Beautiful. They have a TV show. Aaron and Ben Napier have a TV show. They did a renovation on a house. And if we enter the tour on this article on House Beautiful's website, you'll see that they chose a portrait sized video viewer here in the right hand side. And so you can change the shape of the video player. Yes.
Okay. Awesome. And then I noticed this tour is housebeautiful.com / and then there's some words. Before we were looking at Open House. Can you speak to the URL?
Yeah. I'll jump to this tour here. So this is a tour that was actually created by one of our subscribers. This is a tour of a Residence Inn, a Marriott hotel, and they set up a custom subdomain of MarriottVirtualTours.com. And so we help them configure this white label domain that Marriott can use. So on this tour itself, there's really no traces of Open House at all. And so if somebody were viewing this tour, they wouldn't know that the MSP was actually using Open House Pro to create this experience. So they picked the theme. They wanted the standard Matterport buttons here in the bottom left-hand corner. They have a full screen utility button here, and then they went and created a custom menu here using Open House menus. And these are actually links or deep links to separate Matterport models. So if I click this Studio Suite King 2 room, this will actually take me into that room. And this is a separate Matterport model. And so if you have an experience where you have a hotel like this and you have 10 different Matterport models and you want to connect them all into one experience using a hamburger menu like this, it's pretty easy to set something like that up with Open House Pro. And then obviously in the top left-hand corner, they went and added the Residence Inn logo by Marriott just to make it look like, again, this was something that Marriott themselves created internally. So when we say white label, we mean we want all traces of Open House, logos and URLs to be gone so that it looks like it was fully custom for whoever the client is.
So 2 questions looking at this particular tour. First, in that menu, the hamburger menu in the top right, is that a feature of all Open House themes? And it's you can either enable it or disable it?
Yes. Yeah, so with each theme, I should mention this. This is the way that it's set up right now. It'll probably change in the future, but you'll notice on all of these themes, they have a hamburger menu. And if there is a theme that you like, for example, let's take this Utica theme. Let's say you really like this theme and you want to use it. You'll notice here, there's actually no hamburger menu button. If you're an MSP and you want to enable a hamburger menu on this specific tour, we can help you do it. You would just tell us where you want it placed, whether that be in the top right-hand corner or in the top left-hand corner, and we can go in and enable it for you on our end. So right now, the way that it's set up actually is you can disable UI elements from a specific theme, but you can't add UI elements that were not there by default, and you can't place them where you want. And so what I mean by that is, like, if you use the Utica theme and you don't have a video that you want to play, you can turn off the video player and it won't show up. But if the MSP wanted to move the video player from the top right-hand corner down to the bottom right-hand corner, they don't have the ability to do that. They would need to choose a different theme at that point. And so we've restricted the MSP's ability to customize where all the elements are located for a specific theme. And then they only have the ability to disable certain UI elements on certain tours. But again, like I say, if there is a theme that you love as an MSP and you're like, I really like this theme, I just want to add a Matterport button or a menu button in this location, we can help you do that, no problem.
Awesome. I could imagine that part of the trade-off is to say you wanted to make Open House themes super easy and super fast to use. And that meant, okay, let's limit some of the functionality to a pre-designed, a pre-built, pro-designed template, really to keep a Matterport service provider out of trouble of like, oh, wow, there's so many things here, I don't know where to begin. No, it's
yes.
It is a theme. It is already pre-built for you. Pick the one that works for you. And oh, by the way, if you like some of the features on theme A and you like some of the features on theme B and you don't see a theme C that incorporates those, then reach out to Open House. And it sounds like that might be the next theme of the month to accommodate a Matterport service provider's needs.
Yeah. Let me jump in really quick. Just going off of what you said, you're spot on. And the reason it is that way is because really the problem that we are trying to solve with Open House themes is when we talk to a lot of MSPs about overlays in general, usually MSPs view overlays as something very niche that they use for a very small percentage of their clients. And we wanted to scrap that and get rid of that problem. We wanted to make it so quick and so easy for an MSP to add a beautiful overlay to their Matterport tours that it would only take them a couple minutes and it could be done, rather than them viewing it as, oh, if I add an overlay, it's going to take me at least an hour and a half to go through this whole process. And so really the problem that we're trying to solve is a beautiful overlay, quick, make it so easy for MSPs to just pick something they like, make a couple tweaks really quickly, and then send it off to their client. Because our goal is we want MSPs to literally put a theme on top of all of the Matterport tours that they deliver to their clients, no matter what type of a tour it is. And so that's really the problem that we're trying to solve, which is why we configured it the way that I described, like you said, Dan.
Yeah, I would imagine by making Open House themes super easy and super fast to implement a pre-built, pro-designed theme that it then enables a Matterport service provider to get more business by enhancing the tours, knowing that it only takes minutes to actually implement. It doesn't matter. The client thinks, oh, that must have taken hours to do. No, it is a pre-built, pro-designed theme that's super easy to implement. I know you're going to show us how in a moment, but it just seems that those two things, by limiting the ability to do some things, makes it easier, faster. So a Matterport service provider does want to use it on absolutely every tour, and then is essentially differentiating themselves from any other Matterport service provider in their market, as well as using it as a way to get new business, because you can now make a Matterport tour totally on brand with using the client's colors, logos, styles, all the finishes that says, oh, yeah, I love that. That looks like the client.
Yes, it makes the client way more stoked and satisfied to see the end result. They love seeing their branding, their colors on it, and it just elevates the MSP's finished product drastically. And like you said, just standing out from a different MSP who maybe just sends naked Matterport links or Matterport tours to their client as the finished product. And so we view it as a much elevated finished product for your clients, for sure.
Without sharing the screen, just if you would, Christian, speak to what I want to say, white label, root domain, subdomain. Can you just discuss what those three words are and then what Openhaus does?
Yeah, that's a good question. So when people throw out the term white label, it can mean a couple different things. First, the first thing I would mention is being able to add a client's logo to the tour, the overlay itself, and not have any Openhaus branding anywhere. So if you were to create an overlay, you could have the monogram logo plus the client, plus the MSP's provider logo. So that would be technically, in a sense, a white label experience, because you wouldn't see an Openhaus logo anywhere. The next level to the white label, though, is the domains. So you could add the custom logos to the tour, but the URL would still be an openhaus.app URL. And so the next level of white label is where we help MSPs set up custom white label domains so that they can actually change the URLs to whatever they want them to be, to fully remove Openhaus from everything included in the experience. And so those are kind of the two tiers of what I would call white label. Is you have logos and branding, and then you have the URLs themselves. And we offer both. We can help you set up both.
So if you could just give me an example without showing us, but a naming convention of a domain, of what a tour might sound like and a subdomain tour might sound like.
We worked with a client and set one up. We worked with a media publisher called Real Simple, and we did a tour of one of their featured homes for the year. And they set up the subdomain of realsimplehome.com. And so we took realsimplehome.com and basically put the Openhaus tour and tied it to that URL. And so if anybody goes to realsimplehome.com, it will pull up an Openhaus tour. But again, there will be no Openhaus shows of Openhaus anywhere, but it's utilizing the overlays that we built for that tour.
So I think of that as a domain name. I think of a subdomain as 3dtour.realsimple.com/123 Main Street.
You're right. You're correct.
But I think I'm hearing is either version is doable, easy peasy, and you have a way to show us how to do that.
Yes.
on,
So we leave it up to the Matterport provider to set up the custom domains, meaning getting, if they have 3dtour.marriott.com, you have to go and get access and set up that domain. And then once you have it set up, we help you configure that domain. But it's up to the MSP to get access and set up those domains.
okay. And then if the Matterport service provider does not go through a unique domain or a subdomain, then what is the URL going to begin with for tours that are using open house themes on top of Matterport? Is it a Matterport link? Is it a—
No, it's an open house link. So it would be openhouse.app/view/a custom space ID, which will be generated after they create the tour in their open house portal.
Okay, awesome. Was there anything else on the front end that you wanted to show us before we looked at the back end?
I don't think so. No, I think that's everything front end related.
Okay, awesome. Then if you could share your screen, please, and do an open house themes, the back end content management system, so that we can see how easy and fast it is to use a open house theme to customize a Matterport tour.
After you sign up for an Open House Pro account and log in, you'll be taken to the Open House Pro dashboard that looks like this. And so what I'll do is I'll walk you through the process from start to finish on how you go about adding a space to your Open House portal, and then how you do all of the customizations that I showed you on the front end. So if you go ahead and click spaces here, I've already set up a client account for Monogram, but you just quickly add a client account and say, what's the name of this client, and type in Monogram, and that's basically it. And so you can now add multiple spaces to that specific client account. So I'm in the Monogram client spaces, and there's a big button here that says add space, and I click it. And what it does is it actually is connected to my Matterport account. So through authentication, there would be a screen that would pop up and say, allow Open House to access your Matterport account, and you use your Matterport sign-in credentials to allow Open House to go in and pull the active tours that you have in your Matterport library. So that's what you're looking at here. These are all tours that we have personally in our Matterport account. So for demo purposes, I'm going to use the Monogram booth. I go ahead and click on it. And so it asks me, what type of category is this tour? This is actually a trade show booth. And then I'm going to change the name of this to demo. So the name of the tour is going to be Monogram Booth 2023 Demo. And this was actually in Las Vegas. So then what you do here on the left-hand side is the actual Matterport tour that you can interact with. And so I'm going to navigate to a certain point in the tour that I think looks good to be able to grab the thumbnail image. So I go over here and click this choose thumbnail button, and you'll be able to see this is the thumbnail that will appear as a preview if you send the link to anyone. And then you set the start location. This is if somebody clicks on the openhouse.app/view link, you set the location, the scan point at which you want the tour viewer to begin the experience at. After you do that, you click this next button. So now you can see this tour was created, and we've gone and created a little checklist for MSPs to go through as they're creating these tours. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to choose and customize our theme. So if you click this arrow right here, it will pull up some suggested themes here. We are giving 4 that are displayed randomly. However, I'm going to click all themes here, and this will take me to the theme store page where I can actually select from the 14 different themes that we have currently. So for the Monogram tour, we actually use this transparent theme here. So I'm just going to use the same one. We're going to replicate the demo that I showed you on the front end. So I'll click use this theme, and then it says, are you sure you want to add this theme to this space? And you go ahead and click confirm. And now you can see on the left-hand side, it's gone and added this standard overlay to the Matterport tour. Now, really, if I wanted to, I could click this logos button here and I can add the client's logo really quickly here. If I click choose file, and then I know you can't see this, but I have the file saved on my computer. And so I click open. I've added the PNG file here. And if I click save and refresh, now in the top left-hand corner, you'll see that it's the monogram logo here. So in theory, if you were to do no more customization, you could stop here and be done, and you would have a branded tour with custom colors that you could, colors and logos that you could send to your client. So I'm going to dive a little bit deeper, but I wanted to know, like, this can be a pretty quick process and you can exit and be done and send it off to your client fairly quickly. It doesn't take more than a couple minutes to set this up. So you'll notice, let's change a couple more things here. Basically on your right-hand side here, you have your navigation to make all of the customizations to the theme that you want. So if I click on features here, the features that are included in this tour are the client's logo. There's a menu button. We have our action buttons down here in the bottom left-hand corner, and there is a video enabled, but because we haven't actually uploaded the video file, it's not showing here yet. But if I wanted to toggle off all of these features and I click save and refresh, you'll notice that now there's no more menu, logo, action buttons, everything is gone. So you can, like I was mentioning earlier, you can disable features that are not there, but you cannot enable ones that were not there by default to get started. So I'm going to go ahead and bring everything back. So if this, like I mentioned, this tour has a top bar. There's a little line running across here. And if you remember on the demo, this tour, that we changed the color of it to be this tan color. So I'm going to go ahead and change the color of that top line. Now you can see the top line is the proper monogram color that I wanted. And in the tour, we actually did not have a menu button, but I want to go ahead and click on this really quick. I'll show you how to configure menus later, but I'm going to go ahead and disable the menu button for now. The next thing that you can change are the action buttons, which are here in the bottom left-hand corner. You'll notice that there's a standard color of white, but if I hover over it, it turns gold. And if you click on the action buttons here, you can change the hover color and the icon color itself here. So on the Matterport tour, on the demo, we had the hover color of the same color as this top line. So if I go ahead and click save and refresh now, we can see that the hover color now is that tan color that matches the color of the top bar up here. If I click on the rooms button right now, it opens up the side drawer, and we can change the background color of the side drawer as well as the text color here on the left-hand side. So if I close the actions button drawer and open our sidebar options here, here's the background color. On the demo, we actually did have it white, but we had the text color. The text color was a gray, and I'll change that here. Click on the color. I use the eyedropper most. If you have hex codes that you want to use and you want to type them in, you can do that as well. But I'll go ahead and click save and refresh now. And now if I click on the rooms button, you can see that the color of that text has now changed. And so really what I'm trying to get at is with all of these themes, you pick a starting point that closely matches what you want it to be. And then you can go through each one of these individual elements and you can refine based on the specific branding or needs of the client. And so those are kind of the main things that I will touch on as far as how to customize the theme. There's more options here, but it's basically more of the same of opening up a drawer, showing the different colors that were set by the standard theme that we chose, changing them to what you want them to be, etc. So now that I've kind of set a starting point for the customized theme, I've chosen the theme, I've customized it. I'm going to go back to Spaces, and then I'm going to open up our checklist. And now you can see that we've chosen and customized the theme here. That's checked. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add the video. So you'll notice here there's an option to upload the video file. So I click open, and then I'm going to type the video to monogram demo. This is just a title for our backend purposes, but this title will not show up anywhere on the tour. So you can name this whatever you want. And then you go ahead and click upload. So now you can see we've added a video to the tour, and it normally takes 1 to 2 minutes for that video to actually upload and process to our backend. So if I click on this I button, this is a preview of the tour that we're creating. So if I click on the I button, you can see the actual video has uploaded and processed and is playing now here in the bottom right-hand corner. And so that worked. The next thing that we'll want to do is add rooms. Again, break up the larger Matterport tour into separate rooms. So I'm going to go ahead and click add rooms. Again, the Matterport tour itself will load here on the left-hand side. I'm going to call this Luke's Kitchen. And then again, you navigate to where you want in the tour to grab your thumbnail image of what you think looks best. I'll just do it at this angle here. And then you click choose thumbnail. And then again, set your start location. So when somebody clicks on the rooms button, the thumbnail that you just created will show up. And then if somebody taps on that thumbnail, the location that you set here, it will dictate where that user goes to if they tap on that room button. Go ahead, Dan.
So I noticed just above that says use different Matterport models. So that's an example if you were working with a hotel and you had 10 different room types.
Correct.
To link the 10 different models together within one tour.
That is correct. Yes.
Okay. Super powerful. Awesome.
Yes. Yes. So you would use that tool here. We won't get into that for this demo. And then you have two options here. You can either add another room. If I click save and add another, we'll just do it really quick because it just takes 2 seconds. It will clear the fields that I've already set. And then I'm going to go over here to this, and I'm going to call this bakery/bar. I'm going to choose a thumbnail image that I think looks good. Okay, I like that. Click choose thumbnail. We'll set our start location, and then you click save and finish space. So now it will show me, okay, you've gone and added these 2 rooms to this tour. Do you want to continue to adding tags? And you click continue. And now this takes you out to the manage space page. You can see it written right up here. And this is after you've kind of initially set up your open house tour. If you want to make any tweaks to it, this is the page that you would come to edit anything. There's kind of a lot going on here. I'll come back to it in just a second. But the last thing that I want to do is if we go back to spaces here and click on this drop down, we have the ability to add tags, and I want to add 1 tag to this tour just to show you how it works. So I would click this add tags, and it's going to bring me to the manage spaces page where the tag section is. So you click add tags, and then it's showing me which tag do you want to add which room do you want to add a tag to. So the product that I'm going to tag is actually going to be in this Luxe Kitchen. And so it will pull up the Matterport tour here on the left-hand side. And to add the tag, all you do is you click this plus button, and then you hover over the product that you want to tag right here. And then if you click on this, these 3 little bars, here you can change the length of the stem, or you can hide the stem totally. And then let's say that you place the tag in a location that you don't like and you want to replace it. You just click this replace tag button, and then you can move it to a different spot. So I'm just going to go ahead and replace it there. The next thing you want to do is choose the tag icon that you want to show up. So I've already gone and added this monogram tag for demo purposes. But if you wanted to create a custom icon, we have built what we call the Tag Icon Studio, which allows you to choose from all of these standard icons. You can change the colors, change the sizes, or if you are more advanced and you have created your own PNG file, you can literally upload your own custom tag icon here on where it says upload icon. But because I've already made it, I won't go through that process. So I just click the tag icon that I want, and then I'm tagging this stool actually. So the name of the stool, I'm going to add a title to this stool. This is the nay counter stool. And then under description, I want it to show what the price is actually. So I've got the name, price, and then we're going to add a call to action button. And I want the viewers to be able to actually go to the URL where they could actually purchase this stool if they wanted. So I'm going to paste the URL here. The next thing is the add media. So when somebody clicks on the tag, it opens the modal. On the left-hand side of the tag modal, there's the media element where you can add photos, videos, PDFs, or code snippets. So I'm just going to add an image really quick here. And the image that I have is actually just an image that's hosted somewhere else. So I have the image URL and I paste it here and click add media element. And it will show me here is this stool. If I wanted to add another one, you just click plus again, click image, and then you can paste in another URL here and click add media element. If you want to change the order in which those appear in the carousel, you just hit these arrows and it will move things around depending on which order you want them to be in. So I've added my media elements. The next thing or the last thing that I'm going to do is customize the styles. So here you have the ability to change the colors and the text of this specific pop-up modal. So what we used for the monogram tour was actually this font, and you can change the size of the font here. So we used 28 font. We made this a little bigger, and then the button, you can change the color of the call to action button. We want it to be monograms colors, and I liked the text of this button being a little bit bigger. Go ahead and change it to match the rest of them, and then you can change the alignment of the text as well. And so I'm going to make everything left aligned. The only other thing that we did was we did change the background color of this to be more of a tan brown color. So now I've gone and go ahead, Dan.
I don't see any description.
The description was the price that I put in, right?
So that could have been a whole paragraph. You chose to do.
Yep.
Okay, great.
It just receives text, and so you can put in whatever you want. But yeah, this is the title, this is the description, and then here's your call to action button right here. And then I want to show you if I go to add another tag to this tour, if I click add another, you'll notice that it pulled the same tag icon already. It assumed that you want the same tag icon. And then if I click this custom styles, it saved all of the styles that I previously set. And so with each tag, you don't want to go in and set these custom styles. You set it up one time based on what you want, and then every subsequent tag, it will assume that you want it to be the same as the previous tag, just to speed things up so you don't have to go and customize each one individually. But I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And so I'm going to click this publish button now, and now it says that tag was added to the tour. So I'm going to go ahead and click exit now. Brings me back to my manage space page, and if I scroll down here, you'll be able to see here is the tag that I added to the tour. If I open up the preview to the tour, you'll be able to see the tag that I went and added. It's right here. So if I go ahead and click on it, there is everything that I set up, and it's right there. So pretty easy. We tried to make it as seamless as possible, as quick as it can be, with at the same time giving the MSP as many customization options as they would need to make this feel like a premium brand created experience. So that's how adding tags work. Dan, it looks like you've got a question.
A couple questions. So you did some customization in terms of fonts, colors. Is there a way to save that theme so when I come back to the same client?
Yes. Yes. I am so glad that you said that. So if you were to go back, if you were to come back, let's go back to spaces, and I were to click add another space again. These are all of my Matterport spaces. Let's say I want to add, we're going to use this tour this time, and I'll call, this is actually just a home. So I'll just quickly, for speed purposes, set the thumbnail and the location and click next. And now if I click choose theme here, see this button that says previously used themes? If I click on that, I have a ton that I've previously used in this account, but you'll be able to see at the very bottom, this is the one that we were using on. And if I click this use theme button, it automatically applied all of the presets that we went and saved right to this tour. So again, once you set it up one time with one client, it takes seconds to reapply that same theme to the client after, or to a subsequent tour that you create for the same client.
So if you're a Matterport service provider and you're working with 50 different real estate agents, and once you've created all the font, the color, and in fact, I think what you mentioned, Christian, it wasn't even necessary to go through all the steps that you just went through. But had you gone, the MSP had gone through all those steps, then you could, I took it off share for a moment, that you could cookie cutter it for 50 different clients. And so here's the template style that you like for client A, for client B, for client C. And when you do client C again, it's easy to just pick up the template that you used for them previously. So the colors, the use of the logo, anything that would be, well, I guess you did it. It was, here are all the things that are obvious that you should use again.
Yes, that is correct. You're spot on.
Okay. So
again, just trying to solve the problem of making overlays fast, because the problem is historically they've been used for niche clients and only a small percentage of tours. And we're saying MSP should be using them on all their tours. And so we've got to make it so quick for them to be able to add these things that it's not a pain point for them.
Okay, awesome. I noticed on the back end some analytics. Did you want to take us through that?
Yeah, I'll do that really quick here.
I'm sorry, I took you off of screen share. If you could go back.
No, that's great. So here on the left-hand side, you'll notice below spaces, the option below it is metrics. So if I go ahead and click on metrics, it will show me, these are all of the different tours that I have for the Monogram client. And you'll be able to see number of views and steps. This is how many sweep locations have been viewed. This is tag clicks within inside the tour itself. And then if they have a share button enabled on the tour, this is how many times the share button has been clicked and the URL has been copied. So if I go ahead and I want to take a deeper dive, if I click more here, I'll be able to see inside of the tour itself, here are all of the products, and there's deeper analytics for each individual product. So obviously if a matter tag gets clicked on for this product, there are a call to action button on each of those pop-up modals, and you'll be able to see how many times that call to action button was clicked on that specific pop-up modal, if that makes sense.
And sharing the statistics with your client?
Yes. So you'll be able to see, here are all of the products and all the tags for this tour. Right below that is what we call pages. And what pages is you can send this URL that can be password protected. You can change this to be whatever password you want. you can copy this link and you can send it to, so like, let's just do this. So if I copy this link and I paste it into a new web browser, it will take me to, this is the tour experience that the MSP created. And here's the password. So I'm just going to copy that and you enter it here. And if I click enter, then the client would be able to see all of these analytics as well. And again, if you white label your tours, meaning you were to add your provider logo here, again, this would show the MSP's logo. So all of this will match the colors of the client as well as have the MSP's logo tied to it. So it is a white label metrics delivery for the client to be able to see all of the interactions or the engagement on the tour itself.
Okay, and then I saw on the left-hand panel forms.
Yes. So what forms is I'll go ahead and click manage forms here really quick. We've set up a way to be able to collect tour viewer information as somebody is looking at the experience. So if you're a real estate agent and you want to be able to collect people's emails as they're viewing the tour and then send them a follow-up email or their phone number and you want to give them a call, you could say, want to learn more, please fill out form. And then you can select which data fields you want to require them to put in. Let's say you want to gather their phone number. The other thing that you can do is you can set up how many steps or different sweep locations you want to allow the tour viewer to visit before this form pops up. So for example, let's say you want to kind of give somebody a little taste of the tour, let them move to 5 different scan locations. And then as soon as they move to the 5th, then this form will pop up and prompt them to enter a phone number or an email or whatever it is that you're asking for them.
And then I could imagine on that screen that I really do need to enter that information. Otherwise, I can't continue in the tour. The idea is you really do want to capture some lead generation. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, you can set it up both ways. So you can make it mandatory that they fill it in, or you can make it so there's an X in the top right-hand corner so that the viewer could just exit out of it. So you can set it up to be either way.
Okay, great. Before we move on to pricing, was there anything else on the back end that you wanted to show us?
I think that covers it, honestly. I feel like those are some of the main features that I wanted to touch on the back end.
Okay, great. You want to take us through pricing?
Yeah, for sure. So let me just open up. If you go to openhaus.app/pro, here, I'll share my screen really quick. It will take you to this landing page. And if you click pricing here in the top right-hand corner, you can see here that we have 3 different plans. And the plans are all features based. And so you'll notice here with our starter plan, we offer basic themes, which is 3 different themes that we've selected that you'll have the option to use. And then you've got your sharing tools, which we didn't get into too much, but we do have some pretty cool sharing tools. If I were to go to this, if I were to go to the manage spaces page here, if I click this share button, you have options here for ways that you can share this tour with your client. So let's say they want to embed this experience actually as a code, using a code snippet on their website. And what that would look like is something that looks like this, where within an iframe, they copy and paste a code snippet, and then people can actually interact with and view the Matterport tour on the page rather than linking out to a separate URL. We provide users with, where did I go? Here we go. With code snippets that they can easily share with their clients to embed on their websites.
I think I also notice there was a deep link opportunity for sharing.
Help me understand what you mean when you say deep deep link?
I'm in front of the fireplace, and that's where I want to take people to, as opposed to the
Yes.
front door of the tour.
Yeah, so within rooms, for example,
Yeah.
if you click the share button under rooms and you were to click this share using a link, this link will take you to that specific location that you set, or that room within inside the larger, broader tour. So the links, the sharing links under the rooms is what you would refer to, or what you're referring to as a deep link.
Yes. Okay. Terrific. Anything else on sharing before we go back?
No, I think that's great.
Okay.
And then basically with each plan, you'll be able to see they all contain different features that I've gone over and discussed. So one of the main things, if you want to have white label or custom domains set up, that falls under our Plus plan. If you want to do anything commerce related, connecting to a Shopify store, etc., that's all in the Plus plan. Aside from that, you can use our standard plan for basically everything that we've gone over and discussed. And we do offer a free 7-day trial of any of the plans. So if you want to sign up and try it out, you would just click get started here, and then you'll enter your email address and create a password. You will be required to input credit card information to redeem the free 7-day trial. However, what I will say is, if you use the 7-day free trial and you forget to cancel your subscription, and you're not happy with the product, you don't actually end up using it, then we offer a money back guarantee. We'll refund your credit card for the subscription amount. So, but you will be required to input a credit card to redeem the 7-day free trial. So,
okay. And so if you click on the yearly button, that would show, for example, this standard plan would go from $52 a month to $44 a month.
Correct. We offer a 15% discount if you pay yearly.
Okay. You've taken us through quite a bit today. Is there, before we say bye, is there anything else about open house themes that you wanted to cover, Christian?
You know, I think we've covered it, honestly. Again, just to beat the dead horse, I guess, if you will, really what our desire is for MSPs to use themes on all of their tours, whether that's a home that they use for a real estate listing, whether that's a museum, whether that is a library, whether it's a ship, whatever kind of Matterport tour you're using. We hope that Matterport providers will use themes to elevate the final product that they're delivering to their clients. And like you mentioned, I truly believe that as they do so, they will definitely stand out from other competitors that are providing Matterport services, because people will see the final product that, you know, this person is delivering versus a naked standard Matterport tour. And for sure, the experience is enhanced when using these themes. And so we're just excited to see what tours you throw the themes on. And we do, if you subscribe to our email list, we do feature different Matterport providers tours every week that are using our overlay tools. And so it's really fun to go and see what our subscribers are using our product for, and what tours they're adding them to. So that's it, Dan.
Yeah, it's awesome. I would add or reiterate that open house themes should help a Matterport service provider increase their business, get more business, because of the added value of being on brand, including things like capturing lead generation, shopping, even just being on brand simply by adding a client's logo. And I think even more importantly, also being able to add a Matterport service provider logo, so that people know who the tour has been created by. So you showed us two websites, openhouse dot help me out, openhouse
Openhouse.app
/pro openhouse.com/pro. And then the other one, specifically, if you want to jump right to the themes, openhouse.app/themes.
That's correct.
Christian, thanks for visiting with me today.
No problem. It's been a pleasure. Looking forward to future shows talking more.
Awesome. We've been visiting with Open House co-founder Christian Adams in the greater Utah area. Company is based in the greater Salt Lake City area. For Christian, I'm Dan Smigrod, founder of the We Get Around Network Forum, and you've been watching WGAN-TV live at 5.